Hello and welcome to another episode of So Fly. Guys,
Sorry.
we just did it. We just reintroduced the podcast after a bloop, and I got the fellas laughing. It's the end of October here. My name is Mitch. You've got Yilma.
Hey, everyone.
You've got Aldo.
Hi.
We're back in the studio today, post Tulum trip, and we're here today to talk about Mexico and their trip with the fellas down to Tulum for 10 days. Hey, I wasn't there, but these two guys were there, so I'm just going to sit back, eat pizza, and listen to some stories, huh?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah?
So you're gonna interview us though, like we're guests?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 100%.
Well, that's so fun.
Well, I mean, actually, I'm more just going to listen to you guys talk. Tell me.
No. I want
No, you have
you
to
specifically.
back and
Yeah.
Okay, well, I haven't prepared any questions, so here we go. We also today we're gonna cut in some footage or some audio clippage from the guide, right, down at Tulum.
Yeah, we were. Actually, it's funny enough. If you go back to our Indiana episode, the guys down in Indiana, when we were there, we're telling them about this trip that we were taking to Mexico, and we were going to be fishing in and around Tulum. Mm-hmm. And Wade, one of our guides down there, is like, "I've got just the contact for you," and he put us in contact with a fellow by the name of Rhett Schrober, and we started emailing back and forth, and Rhett showed us a fucking awesome time on the water down south, which is great.
Yeah,
Radical.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't wait to hear some of that footage too. I haven't listened to it yet, so it's gonna be good. I mean, I'm looking forward to hearing about this trip because I saw the pictures and they looked amazing. Why don't we go back to the beginning and just hear a little bit about how we got this trip to Tulum and why we went down to Tulum, and then while I write some hard hitting questions and eat a slice of pizza. Aldo?
What kind of pizza?
Well, we got a little nice vegetarian. No, it's not. It's actually pepperoni.
Yeah, that's pepperoni.
I was like, oh man, that looks like a Canadian veggie.
Yeah, pepperoni, green peppers, and
Ooh.
mushrooms.
And you got a little 40 Creek going on, eh, Yilma?
Yeah, man. I got the old 40 Creek
Copper pots.
copper pot.
Copper pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, sipping some 40 Creek.
It's whiskey weather outside. It's raining. It's
Big time.
cold.
Yeah.
It's the fall. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, it's cold. It's steelhead season is definitely here.
No, it's here. I still haven't gone yet. You went, eh, Mitch?
I did. I went once and last weekend before, and it was hot. It was weird.
It was hot yesterday.
Yeah, and it was really strange. It's a really weird fall here in Ontario, but yeah, steelhead season is definitely here.
You're with Joe and Bill.
Joe and Bill. Yeah,
Two
Bill,
former guests.
Yeah, Bill got a fish.
Nice.
A nice little,
Of course he did.
a nice steelhead. Yeah, it's beautiful, but it was toasty. It didn't feel like steelhead weather. It was like I was hot. So we'll get out many times this season, but
For sure.
and we're heading. Actually, just a little update. We're heading to Texas in 2 days. Day
Yep.
after tomorrow.
In fact, when this airs on November 1st,
Yeah,
we'll be there.
we'll be fishing.
Well, no, we'll be traveling.
We'll be traveling, but
Yeah.
we'll be on our way.
We'll be on our way to
fishing.
Texas. Yeah.
So it's going to be it's a fun fall. But this trip was really, the Tulum trip was really a nice kickoff of the fall, which is kind of a weird thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when did you guys go? It was September,
I mean, I fell. Is that a
October.
fall?
It was the first
Okay.
week of October. The dates were
Right.
we were there from the 4th to the 11th, a Friday to a Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Mhm.
Actually, this trip came about
Yeah.
because I was in Florida fishing in the Keys,
Mhm.
and my flight got delayed.
Mm.
Yeah, it sucked. Ooh,
That does sound good.
flight delay. And I made some shitty joke to the person behind me in the line, and we ended up chatting, becoming friends, and her name is Mari, and Mari owns an Airbnb in Tulum, and Mari needed some content for her Airbnb, and one thing led to another, and she was like, well, why don't you go down to my place in Tulum and stay there and use it as a base camp for when you go fishing in the Sian Can.
Mhm.
And I was like, yeah. So I came back and talked to these guys, and Yilma was like, yep.
Yep. Right away.
Because Yilma, you love saltwater.
I
Right?
love saltwater.
Yeah.
I was born in it. I love it. So yeah, I love the heat. I love the salt water on my little toes,
Your
little
toes.
toesies. Yeah, but most
Righteous.
importantly, I think I just love the color
Mhm.
of everything.
Like the
Yeah.
water,
The water, the fish,
Mhm.
the wildlife. You know, everything's just so.
the flora.
Is that what it's called?
Mhm. And
Well,
fauna.
The flora would be the plants.
Mhm.
The fauna would be the animals.
Mhm.
I love the faunas and the floras.
Mhm. So what were you guys fishing for?
Okay, so so that was like the reason why we went down originally, and then we were like piecing the trip together from there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like all these things kept falling into place. Like, oh, I met this woman, owns this property, invites us down. Beautiful place, by the way.
Oh,
but we'll get to that. And it was like, we're in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, Wade's telling us about this guide in Tulum and who can show us around. And then so we started emailing with Rhett, and we're like, what are we going to be doing? What are we going to be targeting? And we're going to the Sian Can Biosphere, which is basically a national park, wilderness preserve, which encompasses a very large area south of Tulum. And we were fishing Boca Paila. Was like the little area,
kind of the region,
the area we were in, and Rhett was like, "Oh, we'll fish. It's kind of like a river mouth."
Yeah.
And he's like, "We'll be targeting bonefish, snook, and big like jack crevalle, like big oceans,
Oh, nice.
like open ocean jack that come into the river mouth to feed on bait fish."
Yeah.
So that was the target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're fishing big flats down there for...
No flats.
No flats.
Well, there was a day where we went on the flat.
Okay.
Yeah, it was huge.
So typically what are you fishing?
Well, where we were fishing in Boca Paila, so okay, let's set the scene here. All the fresh water in the Yucatan Peninsula comes from cenotes. Cenotes are the underwater caves.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you've seen them on Planet Earth or something like that. And then that water gets flushed out into the flats where it becomes brackish, and in Boca Paila, it turns into kind of like a brackish river.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that river pushes out into the main ocean. So you can fish, like when you show up at Boca Paila, there's a big bridge, and you can see the flat. So you can definitely fish the flats. It's just that the time of year just wasn't great. We walked the flat on one day, but it was pretty empty.
Yeah.
Like devoid of fish.
Okay, that's interesting.
So it's like... You can definitely fish it for bonefish. Is definitely then sometimes permit, but just the time of year and just the way the tide was, it just wasn't productive.
Yeah.
So we ended up fishing every day, mainly the ocean side. So there's a beach, and where the river dumps out into the ocean, there's like what's called a cut, where like it actually does kind of cut into the ocean bed, the bottom of the seafloor. I don't know, the ocean floor, the sand.
The sand.
Yeah.
So there's a big depression, and then it gets very, very, very shallow again. Like there's like a sandbar,
Right.
like ankle deep. Well, ankle deep for tall people.
Yeah.
Knee deep for me.
Yeah.
And
it was like it extended. Like it felt like there was a what do you call that thing? Current that went straight from like one end of the beach all the way.
yeah, you can definitely see the way the tide was going out
That was crazy.
and pushing bait fish into that like current. Yeah. And so you'd see like, and so that's what we were fishing. We were fishing that every day.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who went down? It was there was a couple of people. It wasn't just you two.
Yeah. So me, Yilma, it was...
Idai or Idis, both names are correct.
Oh, cool.
He's Lithuanian, and he was our DP, and then Joel, our photographer, and we brought another sexy photographer, Andy Vanderkay, who's been with us, a couple trips, and he was there as well.
Right on.
Andy and Joel, have joined us on trips before, and they're solid dudes, and Idis was awesome to have around. Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking need them around.
Really good energy.
Yeah.
So much fun. We had so much fun. We all got along. It was really like everyone was super chill.
We got along.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
That was great.
I was here in the cold, lonely, looking at photos of you guys. Thinking,
I know we missed you,
I'm
Mitchie.
a pajama.
We missed you.
What a nice trip. I know.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to hear all about it. I want to go right back to...
Flying? Like, should we just do
Let's go back
like
to-
a day-by-day kind of thing?
Yeah.
I want to go to like when you landed the plane and what happened. I want to hear like what is the deal with Tulum as a destination. I want to hear about like the food you guys ate. I want to hear about the place you stayed, the fish you caught, the most memorable fish. I mean, we're going to go through it all, but let's go like starting right from the beginning. The plane landed in Tulum. What happens?
Okay, first thing that happens, I lose my luggage.
Really? You lost your luggage?
Yeah, I didn't tell you this, Mitch.
Oh, man.
Because I was stressing the fuck out.
Holy shit. What was in your luggage?
Oh, and just all the fly rods and the reels.
Yeah,
Oh,
just everything.
my
Okay,
God.
so I
all
have
of the fly rods?
dog, all of them. So I was.
I didn't know that.
I know.
That's crazy.
I couldn't tell anybody because I wanted to die.
Yeah.
He kept his cool the whole time. He didn't like flinch. He was just like, yeah, it's fine.
What can you do, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was there's so much to talk about. What happened was
Yeah.
Wait, can I do that one?
Yeah, for sure.
What happened? Oh, I fucked it up. Go on.
What is this? Some inside joke or something?
No. It's a bad bit.
I love it.
Okay, so we're still at Pearson, right? I've got my little rod and reel case, like travel case. I've traveled everywhere with it. I've used it Italy, Florida, a million times, Montana. Like I've flown, I've carried on my rods every flight in my life, except for this one. They were like, we flew Interjet, which is a Mexican airline, which actually I gotta tell you,
it's comfortable.
It was awesome. The crazy amount of leg room.
It's a crazy amount of leg room.
Yeah, nice, good service, food, free food. When does that happen anymore?
True. Rad.
So we flew Interjet, and the Interjet people are like, no, you can't bring fishing rods on. I'm like, I have to bring these on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can I gate check them? Is there anything to make sure that these get there?
Yeah.
And it was like, I was really trying not to argue with them because,
Yeah.
I don't like arguing with
Totally.
like
Those people that are like,
it's not their call.
and you're also not getting anywhere.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like what they like, they're gonna give you your way more because you're making them angry.
Yeah. Oh, this guy's so rude. I definitely have to give him his way. So I was like, you know what? Okay, well, like I guess there's no connecting flight. What are the odds, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I also knew, like, I was putting it in the oversized luggage thing because you have to put oversized luggage in a different area. And I'm like, I'm never gonna see this again. And I just had this weird feeling in the back of my head. And sure enough, land the plane.
Mm-hmm.
Yelma's bag. Joel's bag.
Got that feeling too when you don't see your bag is so
it's the worst.
stressful.
It's the
Like you
worst.
just feel your
I fly.
heart start to race.
I've been fortunate enough in my life that I've traveled a lot because of the restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
Never have I ever lost a bag or like had a bag lost. Like not even. I've never had one
Any problems?
problem ever.
I like how this is the one.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh my god.
Fishing trip.
So,
all
yeah.
the fishing gear.
Yeah, because we were trying to pare down. We didn't want to like bring too much stuff. So like, we both had Neil and I both had a personal bag.
Yeah.
And then I had the rod and reels in the rod and reel case.
And
Yeah.
One bag checked all of our flies.
And then Yelma had all the flies and the lines and the leaders and whatever.
Yeah.
We basically, the plan was to carry everything on in order that we could fish, because if they lost our luggage, we could still fish. Was the idea? Which anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we waited and like finally started asking people. Like nobody didn't really get a straight answer from anybody.
No, but I felt like they were attentive to like what
for
was
sure.
happening, and they were very professional.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
so like it's obviously not coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well I got to start talking to people. And I was like, okay, we got to start talking to people. Joel was actually the first guy. He's like, I'm going to start talking to people. He's like, he was kind of
like talking to like
Yeah, because he speaks
employees.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, he doesn't.
Oh.
That's what he said. He says he knows. Did he lie to me?
He doesn't speak Spanish.
Why does everybody lie to me?
Maybe he understands it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Amazing.
Um.
So you started talking to attendants. You're like,
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
going
yeah. And then
on?
finally, there was one really helpful guy, and that knew. He's like, well, he's like, I've got to get in touch with the Toronto team, but for whatever reason, it wasn't on the flight.
Mhm.
But we have a flight tomorrow morning, and we'll
Okay.
make sure it's on that flight. He's
Yeah.
like, and he gave me his cell phone number.
That's awesome.
He's like, just text me.
Mhm.
He's like, text me for updates. He's like, don't call the 1-800 number.
oh wow, that's
and
great.
he's like, I'll get you sorted.
Nice guy. That's
so the
awesome.
so that was awesome. So
Yeah.
the first thing we did is I called
Interjet.
Interjet. Yeah.
Interjet.
Hey man, that's some
Yeah.
customer service right there.
It was, man. His cell phone.
That's
his
awesome.
personal cell phone.
Yeah.
And anyway, so first thing I do is I text Rhett. I'm like, hey, Rhett, they lost all of our rods. We don't have any rods and reels. Like, we were supposed to fish like the next day.
Mhm.
So I was like, can we push back a day? Like, we got to
Yeah.
see if this bag shows up. And he's like, oh, I've got rods. Don't worry about it. Like,
All right.
we'll get you through the first day.
Yeah.
You know? And I
Oh
was
man,
like,
that's so amazing.
and we were just, then I kind of stopped stressing because I was like, okay, well,
At least
now we can
fish.
actually fish.
We're covered
because
at least.
Rhett guided us, but he wouldn't call himself he's not a full-time guide. Like his
Yeah.
profession, he's a property manager. He manages vacation homes, right? That's
Yeah.
his
That's
job.
His
right?
job. Yeah.
So he has a job. He's taking time out of his day to like show us around.
So
basically.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love these people, man.
Mhm.
We seem to meet so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, people that are just like, yep, let's go hang out. They just want to hang out, fish. They're just nice people.
That's not to say he's not an expert. I
Absolutely,
wouldn't call him an I would probably call him an expert. Definitely of that area. Like he wrote a book called Fly Fishing the Yucatan. Sorry, he co-wrote a book. He co-authored a book.
That's awesome.
Which we read on the plane, which is pretty awesome.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's not like it's not just like...
No, he's not just a guy who's just shooting the shit. Let's go fish.
Like he knows
what he's doing.
He wouldn't call himself a guide. He calls himself like a fly fishing resource.
Yeah.
So he has a website called Mexican Fly Fishing and .com, and he's like, what did he call himself? Like the
MexicanFlyFishing.com.
Yeah.
Wow, that's such a good URL.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Maybe it's MexicoFlyFishing.com. We'll double check.
Yeah, we'll double check.
Yeah. And what did he call himself? Well, he says this in the interview, his little soundbite. But he says he's like kind of like he's like the gatekeeper. Yeah. Super eccentric guy.
Yeah.
Amazing personality. Like big booming voice, like lot of energy. And a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, super smart. And worldly.
MexicoFlyFishing.com.
Oh, perfect.
Right.
MexicoFlyFishing.com.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick second here to talk about something really special in downtown Toronto, a slice of heaven, if you will. It's packed full of fly fishing gear, tying materials, clothing, hats, bags, and more. Drift Outfitters Fly Shop at 199 Queen Street East in Toronto, Ontario is our SoFly official fly shop. Rob and the guys down at the shop have you covered for all your fly fishy needs, whether that means taking a trip to Northern Ontario or instead heading on a massive journey to the heart of Africa to fish tigerfish on the Zambezi. Drift Outfitters has got you covered. Stop by the shop at 199 Queen Street East in Toronto or visit them online at driftoutfitters.com to take advantage of their online store and free shipping on Canadian orders over $100. So how did Rhett find himself in Tulum?
Rhett found himself in Tulum. He had a grant from Miami University to study the
archaeology.
Archaeology, basically. The Aztec ruins in and around the Yucatan Peninsula.
Okay.
So he went down there in the 80s, and he never came back.
Whoa. That's so cool.
He lives in basically, like, he never came back,
He spent a lot of time in that region.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time. And
That's cool.
Eventually settling in. He lives in Akumal, which is north of Tulum by, like, about 20 minutes.
So you guys landed the plane.
Okay, right.
The luggage shit was all crazy.
Yep.
You're like, all right, we talked to Red on the phone. You grab a cab, you go to...
Well, we grab
car rental.
We get the shuttle to the car rental place
Gotcha.
because the car rental places aren't actually at the airport.
Right.
Fun fact for anybody who's going to Tulum.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Or Cancun.
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
So we land in Cancun, right?
Right.
That's the kind of gateway to the Yucatan.
Yeah.
Yucatan's a peninsula on the east eastern part of Mexico. And you land in Cancun and just start driving south. So it's like 4-lane highway. So it's just one.
How long of a drive is it?
And it's about an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. That's not bad. That's not that far.
It was about an hour and a half
From
to get
Cancun?
From Cancun.
From Cancun,
right?
yeah.
An hour and a half? 2 hours?
Not bad at all.
An hour and a half. It wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you hopped in your car.
So we got out of the airport and it's just like the humidity. Do you
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that?
Oh, my God. It was just like a
Like a
slap in the
wall.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a wall.
Whoa.
Yeah. I know. It was crazy.
It was hot.
Was it
really
like
hot.
30 degrees the whole time you were down there?
Yeah. It was like...
Yeah, but then we got used to it. I think at a point where we were just like, we were in the pool and you know,
awesome,
we were
man.
we were getting hit with waves and just breeze, so we were feeling
It's great.
good. I didn't really feel the heat that much, you know.
That first day I felt
first
the heat.
day,
I'll
yeah.
tell you that
Yeah.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do we do? So we get on the
Drove.
road, drive, get into Tulum, and then check
First
in.
impressions of Tulum?
Street market food, lovely, Caribbean-esque, nice. First impression. I mean, we'll get to like the other
Tulum.
variables of Tulum.
Yeah.
But the first impression, I was like, it was quite nice. I felt,
My first impression was a little more industrial than I thought it was going to be.
Tulum?
Yeah. I had this like wilderness,
Right.
and I don't know.
Yeah, I guess based on like what you see on like Instagram, you see all those.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. So the first thing I see is a Starbucks, and the second thing I see is a Burger King.
Oh,
and
really?
I was like, huh. And it kind of looked like, but then after that, there's like the main little town and like Yilma said, there's like awesome little taco shops and ceviche shops, and it's just a little bit more industrial because it's right on the major highway cuts right through the town. So there's big 18-wheeler like.
I imagine it almost like Costa Rica like.
Yeah, no.
That's how I thought it was.
See, that's how I thought
because the pictures are like that kind of.
Well, it is once you get to the beach for sure, but like when you drive into Tulum, you're not. Well, I mean, you're relatively close to the beach, but you're not on the beach.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So our Airbnb was in the town, like in the town. It wasn't on the water.
Yeah.
But we pull in our Airbnb and.
The Airbnb was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it was fucked
so
up.
sick.
Well, because I mean, I love nice things. And I walked in, there's these huge doors. I mean, like they're what, 11 feet tall? These doors. It's
beautiful
like,
wooden
like a
doors.
kingdom.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You know when you walk into the Louvre or before the Louvre, like the courtyard, it's like, like that kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like boom. Mm-hmm. And then like you'd open up, everything's glass walls, firstly.
Yeah.
Because there's a surrounding sort of, fort, I guess, walls and those doors. So the place was just a lot of light coming in.
So much light.
There was a nice little fucking pool. So can I swear on this thing?
On the Soulfly podcast?
Yeah, it's my first time being a guest.
Of course you could swear, baby.
Thanks.
We have the little E.
It just looked like a little oasis, and
yeah,
it's just lovely.
That spat pool right in the middle of the house, kind of.
Yeah. And everybody had like the place. Like if you look at it on Instagram, which is at Casa Flamingo.
King size bed.
It looks. I mean, the pictures make it look just as beautiful as it is, but you don't really understand how big it is.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's big.
Yeah. Oh, it's bigger than it looks on the pictures.
It's big. Yeah.
And comfy.
Oh, it's so comfy. Like huge kitchen, big like communal living space. The pool's. It's an interesting design. It runs the length of the house.
Yeah.
So it's really like nice and long. You can actually like every bedroom door.
Yeah.
Like the sliding glass doors.
Yeah.
You have each bedroom has one, and you can jump into the pool from.
Cool.
From your bedroom.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
It's designed for like just relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
It's designed to be a vacation place.
It's designed for you to completely chill out. And for us, it like when we were going from there to fishing, in the morning anyway, when there was no traffic.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. But in the morning when there's no traffic, probably about 35, 40 minutes to fishing.
Yeah. For about 40 minutes. Yeah.
About
That's not bad.
25 minutes to the gate, like the national park gate.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
the Sian Gate. Yep.
Yeah.
And you're like, and we had bikes. You could bike into town, get some tacos. Like we're like
sick.
5-minute bike ride from like really great taquerias.
Yeah. Wine
everywhere.
Organic food.
Yeah.
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 Rad.
It was like in an area where, it was, in an area where people who are wellness advocates go and
yoga
stay
Yeah,
people.
there's a lot of I think one of the bigger yoga retreats was like right beside there. Holistica.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like it's convenient. It's a convenient place to vacation in that you can just bike to get tacos, come home, swim in the pool, relax. Like it's chill.
Yeah, you can like your access to adventure or relaxation is optimal there.
Yeah,
nice.
And you don't even have to leave the house because I felt like that was
honestly
I would just stay there.
Honestly, yeah. Like bike, get some tacos, and just chill out by the pool.
Oh.
Yeah.
So good. By like the following Wednesday from the Friday that we got there, I was just like, okay, here it is.
Yeah.
Fully relaxed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was a really great base camp and like more than enough room for everybody too, right? So it was just like Wi-Fi so we could work.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't drink the water, but they provided bottled water there for you.
Oh, nice.
Rad. Yeah, it was great. They had everything there.
Okay, great. Well, that sounds like, the pictures are awesome. Yeah. Definitely check out at Casa Flamingo.
Yeah.
And you can check out our page too. We'll post some pictures of it.
Definitely.
Yeah, and the website because it looked amazing.
Super easy to book. It's on Airbnb.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
The property managers down there were so nice.
So nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nice.
Awesome. Well, that's good because you go from losing the bags to like you want to go to a place that's like a nice place.
It's nothing but positive.
Yeah.
After that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Radical.
Okay. Yeah. So Rhett's messaging me. I've got him on WhatsApp, and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" And I was like, "Well, we just checked in. I fucking lost my bags. I'm losing my mind a little bit." And he's like, I was like, "We gotta go get groceries." And he's like, "Perfect. I'm at the grocery store." and he does kind of sound like that.
Yeah.
Do you know Will Ferrell's imitation of Harry Carey?
Oh my God, really?
I don't want to make Rhett sound like a fool. He's not foolish.
Yeah.
It's just he's got this really animated way of speaking, Gilma. You just got to get that cast out there a little further.
I love it. I love
Like-
those people. So he's kind of got he talks kind of like the tortoise in Finding Nemo.
What?
Do you know the tortoise in Finding Nemo?
No, he doesn't have
Wait,
no, he doesn't have.
no,
the surfer? No, dude,
No,
he
not the
doesn't have like the
surfer.
surfer.
Oh, he's not a surfer,
Dude.
dude.
Not
No,
a surfer,
no,
dude.
no. No. Anyway, so Rhett's like, meet me in the parking lot. You can do all your
Sea turtles,
grocery. You can do all your grocery shopping here.
Yeah.
We can make a plan for tomorrow.
And he made us feel a lot comfortable with the airport, our luggage, because he said those guys will take care of your shit. He just said that those guys will take care of your shit. Don't worry, and they did.
Cool.
So we show up. Rhett's waiting
Awesome.
for us in the parking lot, and he's been drinking
Yeah.
a little bit. Oh yeah, or something. Yeah, he's like, hey guys, been into the beers. He's like, but let's make a plan. And he was just like, he got us so amped because he was so amped.
Yeah.
Like he was so happy to like meet us and
Yeah.
have us down. He's like,
Just get
let's
fishing.
chat.
I mean, it's fun when you get to show someone where
man,
you fish
it was-
and what you love.
It was such a scene too. We're like, here are 4 guys from Canada.
Yeah.
I think Adis was stuck behind to like set up his cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
And Andy,
Joel.
Joel, and I, and met Rhett, and Rhett was just like, he was on fire. He was like, just
Stoked.
like stoked. It's like 5 p.m. The sun's setting. It's
Yeah.
like this beautiful sunset. We're in like this parking lot of this massive gross, Mexican Walmart, basically.
Yeah. Had everything.
It had everything.
Yeah.
And there's this guy that we kind of like plucked out of thin air, out of an email,
Yeah.
And now it's like, boom.
There
All
it
right.
is.
There's your guide.
Yeah. Awesome.
And he's just like, okay, we're gonna meet at this gas station. We're gonna get the ice for the beers. Make sure you pack some lunches and
Thongs.
that's his big thing.
Yeah,
that's his
it.
big icebreaker. It's just like make sure you bring some thongs.
Bring some thongs.
Those are some hilarious pictures.
Fuck, we were thinking. Andy said that at the last day. He's like, man, we should have just all on the last day just busted them out. He would have.
Oh, that would have been great.
He would have lost his mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he, but yeah, so he got us so excited, and like Yilma said, he assured us he's like, oh, those guys at the airport, you're not the first person, you're probably not going to be the last person.
Yeah.
He's like, but they do.
They got you.
They got you, kind of thing.
Wicked. So you guys, you meet your guide, and he's
like,
amped,
and he's like,
and he's
I've got.
stoked.
Don't worry, I've got rods. I've got
covered.
you covered. At least we landed with Yilma's bag, so we had all of our flies, all of our terminal tackle, like leaders, line, pliers, nippers.
That's good.
All that stuff.
That's
We had it all,
Yeah.
And
That's definitely an uphill because it's like nice place. Guide is super cool. You can't wait to go out with us. We've got our gear. Place is beautiful.
I'll see you at 5 a.m.
5 a.m. rock and roll.
Or
Yeah.
6.
No, 6.
Bright and
we,
early.
We met him at 6, and
Yeah.
then we got to the water by like 7.
So you crashed out that night. Woke up at 6.
Yeah.
Hit the water. You're on the water by 7. That's not bad at all.
No.
And how's the first impression?
Well,
Fishing
okay, we'll get to the water. But before, it's that drive from the through Tulum. Like, I guess that's like the resort part of Tulum.
The hotel area,
Yeah.
I'd say. There's like a main drag by the beach
Yeah.
of just lined with, like, picture Queen Street in Toronto.
Yeah.
That's how many hotels there are. It's like hotel, bar,
Restaurants,
bar, restaurant, yoga, like
It's tourist city.
it's yeah.
It's
Yeah.
tourist city, but it's designed in a way where like the stereotypes that you have of like a place like that sort of comes to life.
Right.
You've got the grass, bamboo walls, and like everything is just like
Its own section.
Yeah, so you're driving
Yeah.
through this meandering dirt road.
meandering. Yeah, for
And
sure.
and the jungle.
Jungle.
It's not really a jungle.
No, but it's
like,
a fake jungle, which makes it look
it's the tree canopy covers the road, so it looks nice, right? So
Yeah.
this is our first impression. We're like, whoa, this is great. Whoa, Andy was losing his shit.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I gotta bring like every girlfriend I ever have down here.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna come down here. We're gonna do it. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna like do yoga for 5 days and
Yeah.
fall in love. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's our first sort of impression of that. It was. We'll talk about it later. But anyways, we drove down that road. It was beautiful. It was nice, lush, green. Very early. Smelled great.
the smell.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Smelled
Fresh.
beautiful. Yeah.
Like what? Like flowers?
Just fresh.
Just
fresh.
clean
just
air.
fresh,
Yeah.
clean,
Ocean,
like that ocean salty.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sick. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dewy, like morning kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
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 Because
Okay.
Wow.
it was basically, it's the wet season.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
okay.
is.
It
Yeah.
rains every day,
Yeah.
basically, but it rains for like What?
Yeah, like it hardly rained when we were even on the water. It rained one day, really, and we waited and it left. But I guess at night it would just pour a little bit, and then during the day it was fine. It was like, yeah, it was nothing.
Yeah. But it made for everything like dew soaked in the morning. Like yeah.
And we drove and we saw the, past the flats. We saw that it was beautiful, whatever.
Oh,
and then
we got into, like you get these like Jurassic Park style doors to get into the
into the park.
Into the park.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
And you pay the park fee there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
And that was
They give you a little wristband.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
which makes
go.
you feel good because it's like, okay, this is like protected
place.
We really care. Yeah.
People care about the Okay.
Yeah. We just kept driving, sort of like that. All the palm trees and coconut trees that were over us while we were driving through this sort of like kind of tunnel thing. It kind of opened up.
It's definitely paradise.
Yeah.
Like vibes.
Yeah.
Paradise. Paradiso.
Yeah.
Paradiso.
Paradiso.
Wow. You speak Spanish?
Nice, man.
You and Joel,
that was
man.
Spanish? Are you sure that wasn't German?
I don't know. Definitely wasn't German. Okay. So everything's looking good.
Yeah, everything's looking good. If you want detail to detail, I'll just give you that play by play. We stopped for Rhett to show sort of like the flats, where it's located just before we got fishing.
How to access them.
Yeah, how to access it. And
another reason a guide's important.
Absolutely. And then we parked. We got all our stuff, and we parked on the bridge.
What color were your socks?
What?
The details, man.
Oh,
gray. Mine were gray.
Well, Aldo and I looked the same when we were
Sim's
there.
wet wading socks.
You parked that damn car and you went to the water.
No. We parked on the bridge.
We parked on the bridge.
Oh, is that like an important detail?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, because...
What happened?
Yeah, what happened, Yoma? What was the first thing you saw?
It's fucking 6:30 in the morning, 6:45 in the morning. Rhett points down to like this mangrove, and there's a 10 to 14 foot saltwater crocodile.
Oh my God.
There. But he's not even hiding. He's just like, hello, good morning, everyone.
It is
Good morning, everyone.
huge.
Really?
It's huge.
12 to 14 feet.
Dude.
Sorry, Rhett's like, oh yeah, that's the medium one.
What?
And then we saw the big one.
And then we saw the big one.
Whoa.
Swimming by, and then it just disappeared.
Yeah.
Holy
which was
shit.
terrifying.
And you were about to go fishing in that
not right there.
Not right there,
there.
but like the area-ish.
Yeah.
Like that croc's going to go wherever it wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't go in the, like he said,
Technically,
he's
right?
Like, well, Rhett said in the decades he's been there, he's never
Right.
seen it on the ocean side once.
But like Yelma going down, it's like, well, he's going to be the guy to bring one up to the ocean.
Well, no, Rhett said he saw it once come close.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Once 30 years.
The thing that you need to be concerned about down there more than the crocs, it was, first of all, it was pretty cool seeing the crocs.
Yeah,
let's not overstate that.
It's like seeing a bear or
I saw a crocodile in the first minute I'm in this wilderness preserve. I saw a crocodile in the wild, and then I saw another one
even bigger.
Like,
yeah.
you think like growing up in Ottawa, I ever thought that was going to happen in my life?
Yeah, I know.
No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Totally.
That I'm going to be fly fishing in Mexico, staring at 14-foot wild crocodiles.
I know. It's wild.
I was like, that moment was so surreal for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus
It was
Christ.
terrifying. But
It's
you're
like
on the
real.
you're on the bridge. You're so far away from them that it's just like
Yeah.
And you know why they're there. There were so many fish in the water.
Right. What kind of fish?
Everything.
Everything. We saw except for
We saw bonefish, needlefish, small little jacks.
ladyfish,
Yeah.
barracudas.
Yeah.
Just right there by the bridge.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so that was good. And then so after that,
So that's your first impression. You're like, look at the predator. Here's the predator.
Yeah, I didn't get angst like I did in Attawapskat, like angst that the bear's gonna kill me or a crocodile's gonna kill me. I did. Well, when we get to the flats part, that part freaked me out a little bit. But because like we were right beside, like Andy was like, oh, why don't you go fish by the mangroves? I'm like, no, I'm not going to the mangroves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know what's there.
I'm terrified.
I mean, that does sound kind of scary.
It is scary because when you get closer, and because they look small from while you're, you're ankle deep in the flats and you're looking at the mangroves and it looks small. Once you get to it, it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah. It engulfs you mentally.
Yeah. Also, Andy telling you to fish mangroves, like he just wants you to get.
He just wants to get a pic. That, and he wants to get a nice picture. And like, oh, well, that's where I'm going to fish. It's so authentic.
This is
Awesome.
amazing.
I love that.
So we gear up.
Yeah.
We gear up, get everything out of the cars. Rhett's got a setup, man. Like he's got chairs for everybody. He's got a little umbrella for the sun. Like,
Yeah.
so we can like
he knows what he's doing.
make a little base camp on the beach.
Yeah.
Because like I said, where we saw the Crocs, that's that river we were talking about.
Yeah.
The bridge goes over the river. River dumps into the ocean, and the ocean mouth there is where we're going to be fishing.
Yeah.
So we were setting up a little base camp, and we walked through the mangroves, and man, the mosquitoes.
Oh man.
I was not expecting that.
No.
Yeah.
They're little tiny little, like, Canadian mosquitoes are a little substantial,
Yeah.
These ones are little tiny little,
Like gnats almost?
Yeah, like gnats almost, and there's millions of them, and there's
Biting you?
biting, and
Jesus.
yeah, it was bad.
Good Lord.
Anyway,
You get out of that quick and you're onto the water.
Well, Aldo started running, and
I was like, fuck this.
See you later.
yeah.
Like,
Nice.
at one point I looked at Yilma, and there had to be like 50 plus following him.
Whoa.
And I was like, nope.
Yeah.
See ya.
Like, let's just get out of here. Yeah.
It's not a long walk.
Yeah.
It's like, what,
Just down a
400,
Yeah.
500 meters, maybe, max.
Yeah.
But it's long enough that we got just owned.
Yeah.
Andy.
Oh, man. And Andy wasn't wearing like anything, basically. We're like, dude, you got to cover up. The sun's crazy all day. And he's just like, I'll be fine.
Just getting bitten.
I was like, fine, you're a grown man. Like,
Yeah.
You'll learn.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And but anyway, we get to the ocean.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Trees open up. And it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like,
The sand is white.
Yeah.
The where that sandbar we're talking about, waves are rolling over. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that is nice.
I
Makes you
will
feel more relaxed.
yeah, and then
And
like
clear.
and like just clear and stuff. Little smelly.
Okay.
So they're having a problem with
Sargasso.
which is like a weed bloom, basically
Oh,
a grass bloom,
yeah.
and it smells like sulfur.
Really?
Very strongly of sulfur.
Yeah. And it's
So
pushing the snook away.
yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
It's actually having an impact on the fish?
So that's why Rhett was saying that it was like for the flat isn't as productive as it normally is because there's a lot of buildup of this grass, and
Yeah.
what they need is all that rain we were talking about to push it all out.
Right.
So like we'd get there in the mornings, and you could definitely see that it had been pushed out,
Mhm.
and then by the end of the day it would return, kind of thing.
Okay.
So it would start off the day would be super clear, and then as the day went on, you'll see in the pictures, sometimes the water's really blue, sometimes it's a little bit stained.
Mhm.
That's from the Sargasso.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And it's just like, for whatever, like, why is it happening? Who knows? It's just like,
No, it's not a who knows. It's actually, it has a lot to do
Yeah.
with farming.
oh, yeah.
And it has a lot to do with farming in different, it's a lot to do with soybean farming.
Right.
And sometimes not even in Mexico, like things that happen in other places
Hmm.
in South America.
Yeah.
Red explains it in his interview.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's just one of those things where like the world is all connected, right? And,
Yeah.
And because of it, also has temperature has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
It thrives in hotter temps, and since the temps are hotter more consistently
Yeah.
because of climate change and stuff, then
It's funny, like, why can't those things smell good? Like, why can't, like, there's a bloom, but good news, it smells like oranges. Why does it have to smell like farts? Like, why does that happen?
That's
why
a
does
good
evolution
point,
do that?
man.
Like,
I
it's
don't
so
know.
weird. Okay, well, the ocean's looking beautiful, though. What do you, like, what's your first plan? But, like, what happens when you go to a beach and you're just like, I mean, you guys had the guide, Rhett, to show you, but, like, what's your first thing? Like, you're looking at the ocean, you're like, okay, let's fish this. Like, how the hell do you go about
so Rhett was breaking, like kind of how when you show up to a river, you start breaking down, when we go to the credit, we know that there's like, a certain rock, a cut, a log, or what. The way he understood that ocean break was like, you could tell he spent a lot. So for the first almost half an hour, it's like 7 a.m, we crack some beers.
Yeah. Nice.
He's like, you guys want some adult breakfast beverages?
Nice. Yeah.
And we're like, there's no reason
Why
not
not?
to,
Yeah.
We're drinking Tecate Light. It's 2%.
Yeah.
It was
It's like
amazing.
water.
It
May
was
as well.
amazing.
Yeah.
So refreshing. And he starts breaking it down. Like he talks about how like Yilma was saying, how the river pushes a current, right?
Yeah.
And he's like talking about how we're going to approach fishing each different type of fish. He's like, here's what the snook do. They cruise the beach. Because there's all these bait fish ever present in the surf.
Ever present.
Yeah.
And that's what the snook are going up and down.
Just cruising, hitting
Dude,
him.
they're big.
Just
They're
smoking 'em.
huge.
The snook are?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 30-pound kind of thing.
Jeez.
Maybe not that big, but I mean
40, 50?
like at least 120 pounds. Yeah.
Fuck, that's a big snook.
No, but I mean like you're talking about like a
15 pound snook.
like we were spotting 20 to 40 inch fish.
Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's big fish. It's
like
big
a big fish.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say how long they are when you don't hold them in your hand and measure them, but like they were big fish, right?
Yeah.
Like these weren't little tiny fish. Yeah. So he's like, this is what the snook do, and this is how they behave, and this is how we're going to target them. And here's what the jack do, and what the jack do is, it's actually amazing because we actually saw this happen. They surf, remember we were talking about the sandbar?
Yeah.
They surf the waves that crest over the sandbar.
Mm-hmm.
Like surf.
Like they come into
like as the wave is cresting, they're like literally like a dolphin or a surfer.
Yeah.
And they ride the wave into the river mouth, and then they eat the bait fish, and then they swim out on this, and they zoom back out, and they keep doing loops like that.
Whoa.
And the first time I saw it happen,
that's cool.
I was like, and they come in, they're not alone. Yeah. They're like with 3 or 4 of their buddies.
Whoa.
And you just see these dark black shapes, and then all of a sudden, and they're coming fast.
Yeah.
Wow. It probably like shoots them right into the thing.
Yeah.
Right? That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
It was so cool. And then he's like, and then if we,
That's so sick, crazy how they learn to do that over time. Like
he's like, that's the most exciting part of fishing here. And I was like,
it was.
And you know what? It really was.
That is cool.
And then he's like, and then he's like, man, if we run into a school of bonefish, he's like, but the bonefish on the ocean side, they'll eat shrimp patterns for sure. He's like, you know what? They eat clousers. And he's like, and that's why I think not a whole lot of people are, because they get stuck in a bonefish mode, which, you know, like everything you read, it's like, oh, they eat shrimp, they eat shrimp, they eat shrimp, they eat shrimp. But we were catching all of them on the ocean side on clousers because, well, first of all, it's not unshrimpy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's not unshrimpy. And they were
the way it swims, too.
Yeah.
I used pink and white the whole time.
Yeah.
Pink and white, red and white. And, so Yoma strings up his rod. Like, Rhett's like, let's get this fishing.
Yeah.
Yoma strings up his rod. What happened to him?
Yeah, well, Red's like, hey, there's bone right there. I'm just like, okay, cast it. Boom. Like, first or second cast, maybe it was like the first cast, bonefish right on.
What?
Yeah, and obviously I didn't set the hook because my first or second cast hitting a bonefish, I'm just like, I just got something. I was like, Yama! And then boom, it's gone. Then all of a sudden, you know, like 2-3 minutes later, all those casting, got one.
Yeah.
And he got a bonefish.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, it was just on.
And it was just on.
We were there.
The whole fucking day.
That's sick.
Dude, we were there.
Mm-hmm.
That's sick.
We got there, 7 a.m., cracked beers, got the tutorial. 30 minutes later, Yoma's first cast, bonefish.
Awesome.
My first cast, bonefish.
Mm-hmm.
That's sick.
What?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love when I just trip like that.
I was like,
well, because everyone's telling us like, you know, they're hard, and I get that they are hard. I mean, eventually, like after that day, it got a little more tricky. But there was something in the air that day, or in the conditions that we just like got so blessed by and with this fruitful like adventure of catching bone after bone.
Yeah, you're just on them,
and to the point where Rhett was like, okay, I'm gonna sit down.
Yeah,
and Alder and I, Joel was catching bonefish, and then that wasn't even the only species. We caught little jacks, and pompano was another species we caught on that day.
Yeah, those are cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
And then we learned something too. Like like halfway through the day. I mean, I'm probably fast forwarding a little too far, but I'm so excited.
What did you catch?
A ladyfish.
And what is it? What's the ladyfish like? What was your reaction to it?
Well, I thought it was a tarpon. So I cast it. Okay, so I'm casting it. Like, I thought it was like a school of bones. Boom! All of a sudden, like huge pull, like a pull I've never pulled before. Felt before. Yeah. Other than my steelhead was here pretty good.
Yeah, steelhead. Yeah.
And it just jumped like a tarpon, like a dolphin.
Oh, it came right out of the water.
Yeah.
I was like, baby tarpon! Yeah. And Rhett's like, it's ladyfish. I was like, oh, okay.
Anyways, it was exciting nonetheless.
I would catch ladyfish all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, they're like like he's like Yom was saying, they are like they're zippy, they're jumping all over the, and that was a big fish too.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it was a nice fish.
It was like a good fish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 24.
So we hooked those first 2 bonefish, and then after that we got a little bit more light, and then we started snook hunting.
Yeah.
And we walked up and down the beach and kind of got a sense of what that kind of game is like.
Yeah. What do you do? Like, what are you looking for?
You're looking for snook.
Like, you're just trying to spot them.
You spot them cruising.
How do you spot them? Like, just through the water?
Oh, yeah.
Swimming. Not like you don't see their tails or anything like that.
No. They're big. They're dark.
Yeah.
Like, you see them coming.
I'd love to catch a snook.
Yeah.
So would I.
Yeah. Because how was this? Like, how were you guys successful with the snook?
I hooked a snook, but I didn't land it. It was, and that was like the third day.
Right.
It was tough.
Yeah.
Let's just say.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did the snook hunting thing for a bit, and then we went back to base camp, had our little lunches, and that's when a big school of bonefish came in.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And we didn't leave that spot for the rest of the day. Like we ate sandwiches.
Yeah.
And right in front of our lawn chairs.
Yeah.
Like I would catch a couple bonefish and then go get a beer.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Like
sick.
this is what this day was like.
That's a pretty awesome day. I mean, that's a pretty tough day to beat.
Yeah.
They were just
Beautiful weather.
They would just, you would see them come in, and once you saw them, when you spotted the school come in, you'd get your cast in front of them, and it was like a guaranteed hookup.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was
pretty
amazing. But I mean, at the same time, there's like these little species called, pompano and little jacks that we're just hooking into. That's a lot of fun,
That's cool.
We're
man.
on 8 weights, right? Like it's fun.
Yeah.
Like they're like if I had a 7 weight, it would have been like insane.
Yeah.
And these bonefish, like they were ranging in size, like some were, like probably like a pound or 2, and some were like more in the 2 to 3 pound class, and then the bigger ones topped out about like Rhett was saying, like, oh, that's probably like a 4-ish bone. Like, like we had some good thick fish.
I had a thick one.
Yeah,
Nice.
A thick boy.
yeah, and some, some ran, some didn't.
Yeah.
And that was day 1.
That sounds amazing.
So I got to tell you a story. Aldo wasn't there. He was just catching a bunch of bonefish on the other end. But I was walking with Joel where we were told to look for snook, and I got into bonefish. So when people are like, and it's funny because Aldo's like, yo, we're catching all these bonefish. People say it's hard and they run, and it was tough fishing. Tough fight, but we weren't getting that classic hookup.
Right.
So I walked the beach, and of course,
well, we weren't getting
classic,
that like how you read magazines where it's like, and I hooked into a bonefish and instantly 120 yards of backing off my reel.
Where it just takes off.
Yeah. They were running, don't get me wrong, but
not like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you for.
So you and Joel start walking to try to like find a big.
Well, find snook. We're just hanging out.
Yeah.
And we saw a school of bonefish, so I cast it, and I got hooked into one. I didn't set the hook right because obviously it spit it out.
A strip set, baby.
Yeah.
You strip set.
So I didn't strip set because I was just hanging out with Joel, and all of a sudden the bone just went. Almost got into backing.
Seriously?
Hook pops out. Yeah. So that classic sort of
Holy Christ.
that was exciting because Joel's like
crazy.
He's just looking at me and he's just filming. He's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. What do we do?
Yeah.
Oh no! What do we do?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen videos like that, and it's just like heart stopping in a way because it's like, God, I hope my knot from my line to backing is tight.
I know, right?
Oh my God, can you imagine?
You lose your whole fly line.
Oh my God, that would be such a bad feeling. That's crazy, man. Well, that's too bad that you missed it came out. I mean, shit. It's probably a nicer. It
might have been it felt good. It felt
just full of vigor.
Yeah, maybe just vigor. It was
Vim and vigor.
Vim and vigor. Rad. Well, that's a good first day.
That was a good first day. We did walk out to the sandbar to go look for jack, but we didn't spot any. And Rhett was like, "The fishing's so good on the beach. We can't look like pass this up kind of thing."
Yeah.
And we were like, "Yeah, that's probably a good call."
Yeah.
And we wrapped up at about 2 p.m.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Long day though. Like if you think about it, we were up at 5.
Yeah.
Work day. Yeah.
Yeah, we were up to so wrapped up at about 2 and. Went back into. We were like, "Oh, let's go get some tacos."
Yeah.
And we stopped at a place on the strip. And as we're driving back, Yilma's driving.
Yeah.
I got service again, and his homeboy from the airport. He's like, sends me a picture of my bag, and he's like, "Got it," and I was like, "Woo!"
Whoa, that's awesome.
And then it was like, I'm not gonna say I forgot about it, but that day was so good that I was just like not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because he was going to lend us, if we didn't get our bag, he was going to lend us a couple of rods.
And it's not like he's got like nice stuff too.
Yeah.
So it's like, but having your own stuff.
Yeah, your rod was a Thomas & Thomas, right?
No.
And my rod was Thomas & Thomas.
No, I was using I think the one I was using from him was an Orvis.
Orvis, okay.
He had Ross reels, is like awesome stuff. Yeah. But it's just having your stuff,
Yeah, well, you get to give fish on them, and then it's like, hey, I got a fish on this rod.
Yeah. So we.
I mean, it's good that it's not lost forever.
So I texted him, and he's like, "Where are you at?" And I'm like, "Well, we're in Tulum." And he's like, "No, I know, but like, where?" And so I just pinned him our location.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, we just stopped to eat." And he's like, "Oh, I'll come to the restaurant." And I was like, "Okay."
He came to the fucking restaurant.
Dude, he came to the restaurant and dropped the bag off.
Thank you, Interjet.
That is amazing.
He drops off the bag.
Yeah.
And this family walks over to me. It's me and Joel are waiting for him. Like the restaurant's all outside, obviously. Yeah. So we're just waiting at the side of the street for this guy. I give him a tip, obviously, because I'm like, Jesus Christ, like this guy just drove from Cancun
so nice.
and hand delivered my bag to me while I'm eating a taco.
That's actually amazing service.
That's so amazing.
He's like, you want my shoes too? What?
Like, here's my leg.
Here's my car. Here's my leg. Yeah. Little Family Guy there. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
And I
take the leg.
So his family comes over and this guy's like, oh, you guys fishing here? Mm-hmm. The guy's wearing a Sims shirt. And we're like, yeah.
Nice.
And we're like, yeah. And they're all, so we all start chatting and stuff. And I was like, whoa, man, this was awesome.
Yeah.
Great day.
Great first day.
So he's like, that guy was a fly fisherman?
Yeah. He wasn't on a fishing trip, but then Rhett and him met and he was like, oh, maybe
come back.
Maybe we can come back and book you. And I was like, man, look at all this.
That's crazy. That's cool. Okay, right on.
And then we go back to the Airbnb and like jump right in that pool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And didn't leave until we had to go to sleep.
May as well, right?
Yeah.
Just get some beers going. Just chill.
So good. Yeah. So chilled.
Definitely a lot of beers that trip.
Oh man, you get your bags too, and you had tacos. Good day. That is a really good day.
Mm-hmm. That was
a very good day.
A very good day.
Yeah. I mean, like, that sounds amazing. Mm-hmm. How'd the rest of the trip go? How was the rest of the days?
Well, they were adventurous, and
day 2 was flats day.
Day 2 was flats day. I mean, we caught on to some fish, but I mean, not the species that we were going for, and it wasn't as plentiful as the day 1. But it was still one. I've been to the flats in at Trinidad and whatever, and blah blah blah. But this was huge. It was like a sea of just flat, sand.
So much
same depth.
Same depth
for miles.
It was incredible.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It was very beautiful. It was kind of nerve-wracking. I mean, when we first got in, though, if I may speak freely, because it was a little dark and mangroves and crocodiles.
A little intimidating.
Yeah, it was a little intimidating from moi. But it was quite beautiful. I mean, we were shuffling the whole time, even though we can clearly see the bottom.
Yeah.
But there were so many stingray sort of holes where they were previously.
Oh.
And that's like the one thing you have to worry about.
Stingray.
That's the actual worry.
Yeah.
The crocodile's like a...
How do you even because I've always felt like it's just like a circumstance thing where it's like, oops, stepped on a stingray and you're like dead. What do you look for?
You look for the sting, like you can
just look for it.
I didn't, I had the same question until I saw one. I was like, oh, you can see them.
Oh, okay.
You can see them. I'm not gonna say you can see them easily. We can definitely see them easily in the flat.
Yeah.
In the flat, you can spot them a mile away.
Yeah.
But sometimes in the surf, they hang out in the surf, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, but they're not like aggressive or anything.
You just can't step on them.
You just can't step on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't die, but it's an intense amount of pain. But Rhett has been stung twice.
Really? No way.
And he said it went right through his flats boots.
Oh my god.
So he wears a protective.
Crap.
He has ray guards.
Yeah,
what does a stinger look like? I'm just gonna look it up real quick.
They're beautiful looking things.
I
want to pet them.
I will say, like, the rays are beautiful. Like, I could just watching them do their thing in the sand, because we spotted a lot of rays.
Yeah. They're so cool looking.
Funny enough, we spotted a lot of rays.
There's a ton of rays.
And we weren't like, we were being very, very careful. And then the last day, I know I'm ahead here, but like on the last day, we saw this little one and the corner of our eye, to the point where, like, if we weren't looking for them, and we could have stepped on him.
Yeah.
And he was just shuffling right there. I'm like, holy fuck. Imagine getting stung on the fucking last day before you have to go back.
I mean, it's better. It's better than the first,
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know.
But no sting's a good sting.
No sting is a good sting.
No sting is a great sting.
That's crazy. Okay, well, you look out for them, and
you do have to look out for them. And like when you can't see the bottom, you've got to shuffle. You can't pick up your feet
because you just kick them along and they go away.
Yeah, well, then they also sense the vibration and they're like, "Fuck this."
Yeah.
It's not like they want to be around you.
No.
They're not going to come after you.
They're just protecting.
They're not chasing you.
Yeah, it's totally just defensive.
It's just
All right.
So day 2 was flats day. We started on the flat. We walked around a bit. We spotted some small jack. Caught him, left. We were like, let's just go to the beach. I caught my biggest bonefish that day, though, on the beach.
Yeah, it was
and I hooked a snook that day, too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But lost it.
Yeah.
Pretty much immediately.
Yeah. Was that the day you caught the jack on the topwater as well? Or was that day 3?
That was day 3.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was day 2. We took a break.
We took a break on the.
Do we fish 3 days,
Tuesday.
take a break, and then took 2, and then fish 2 more days, kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
That break day was nice because it was actually the only day it rained all day.
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you guys took the day off that had bad
But
weather.
Ironically,
like
worked out well.
Like we look at the forecast, and the forecast every day was like 100% chance of rain.
Oh,
So it
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, but it would rain for like 20 minutes and then be
Go
gone and be
away,
like
yeah.
beautiful sunshine.
Yeah.
But this day it actually did rain all day.
Wow.
But we used that day to go visit Rhett at his, one of his properties
Yeah.
in Akumal, which is beautiful. We did the interview with him, and yeah,
That's rad.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, that was wonderful. His properties are gorgeous, especially the one where we did the interview on. I mean,
Oh
like,
yeah,
The
yeah.
pictures look crazy.
oh man,
Oh, dude, you can snorkel. His girlfriend's owns a dive shop.
yeah, dive shop.
does dive tours. She said
She's
you could
Canadian.
snorkel right in front
That's cool.
of.
Mhm.
She's Canadian?
Yeah,
Nice
she's Canadian.
Canadian,
Cool. Yeah, one time.
That is super cool.
Why don't we cut to that interview right now?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
You ready, Yilma? All right, we're like SoFly on location here in Mexico. We're in Akumal. I'm with Rhett. We have a main man Rhett. Rhett, what's your last name?
My last name is Schober. I'm a German guy.
German guy, but you are an American.
I am. And I grew up in Vail, Colorado.
Okay,
So mountain boy.
mountain boy.
And did a lot of skiing, but I also did a lot of trout fishing, as you can imagine.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what brought you? I mean, like we are sitting on like a little patio overlooking the Caribbean Ocean, the Atlantic Caribbean Ocean.
Yes.
There are waves crashing. There are palm trees. The sun is starting to set. I've got a cold beer. You got a crispy beer on you?
I got a crispy beer.
Amazing. Oh, that's delicious. We had an amazing day fishing with you. It was like our first day fishing. It was awesome. But maybe we can, before we talk about that, we'll rewind back a little about what brought you to Mexico originally.
I came here in college to study the Mayan Indians.
What?
And that was in '86, and I came down here with my professor who gave me a scholarship to kind of be her gopher and assistant at the same time. I did a Mayan area study, did some excavations, and went into cenotes and did some really cool things down here and fell in love. And while I was doing that on the weekends when I wasn't studying, I would take the bus from Merida, which is the capital of the Yucatan state, to this coast on the weekends, and I would walk and fish different sections each weekend.
Like sections of the beach?
Sections of the beach from basically close to Cancun all the way down to Punta Allen.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was great, and just kind of discovered it myself. And then Akumal in particular came into my life when I stopped here. There was not much here. There was a beach bar down in the main bay in Akumal, and with huge bonefish right in front of the beach bar. And I set up my hammock and I slept on the beach a couple nights and fished and ate whatever they had, which was some rough food, and drank some beers, and that's kind of the story about how it came to be.
That's pretty awesome. I'm just trying to paint a picture for everybody. Like Akumal, we're on the coast right now at one of Rhett. You manage properties, correct?
I do. I have my main gig is property management. I have a vacation rental management company,
Awesome.
Akumal Villas,
Right.
and we have about 50 villas that we rent and manage, and they're great places from 2 bedrooms all the way up to 10 bedrooms.
Cool.
And it's a great family environment here, and I certainly like to encourage people to come down to this area who do want to fly fish. And maybe, one of the demographics is a lot of people who've gone on the, camp-based fly fishing lodge trips.
Right.
Their spouse might say, hey, you get to go to all these cool places. Why don't you invite me next time? But they don't necessarily want to be stuck at a lodge in the middle of nowhere. And Akumal's a great place because they can rent a villa.
It's pretty rad.
Their spouse can be with the kids or whatever, and whoever wants to fish, or if everybody wants to go fish. There's all sorts of, down south of us is Punta Allen, where we fished near there the other day. That's the permit capital of the world. So, and there's offshore possibilities too. So this has got a lot of things going for it, not just in the fishing realm, but also the adventure. You have the ruins, the Mayan ruins, obviously, and the cenotes.
What are cenotes? Sorry,
Cenotes are the underground aquifer caves.
Oh, right.
There's no rivers on the Yucatan.
Okay.
So one of the reasons why the Mayans could live on this, limestone plain is because they had fresh water underneath them. And that was what was coming out where we were fishing the other day.
Right. So in relation to, we flew into Cancun.
Yes.
Then we drove south on 307.
Yes.
Yeah, right. And then Akumal is probably, an hour?
An hour, few minutes.
An hour and a few minutes south of Cancun. Then Tulum, where we're staying, is another 20 minutes.
Correct.
Or so. And then we're fishing is another, say, half an hour.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's pretty rad.
Yes.
So, wow. You came down here in the 80s and we're fly fishing on a hammock. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. Now I do a little bit of camp fishing. For my birthday last year, we went up north of Cancun to a really cool place on the northern coast called Rio Lagartos.
Okay.
Which is known for baby tarpon fishing, and we were taken out on a barrier island with two of my friends on paddle boards, and left there for about 3 nights and 4 days, and we paddle boarded around and caught tarpon and caught ladyfish on a full moon night, and there's just, whether you're a DIY guy, whether you want to have a boat, there's so many opportunities to enjoy a fishing holiday down here.
Right.
You don't necessarily have to come with your family. Like we're in Tulum, there's, little, 1-bedroom apartments that you could rent on Airbnb. There's little hotels that are very reasonable.
Right.
And
there are so many places to stay.
There are so many places.
Or driving on the beach. It's this hotel, yoga retreat.
Akumal is more family-oriented, where Tulum is a little bit of the party. That's kind of Tulum's kind of the bohemian boutique thing going on down there, which is also super cool.
Right. And then you have, you have, I would say, you're the gateway to fishing. Like you're not guiding 365 days a year.
No, I take out a lot of friends and friends of friends, and it's not my full-time gig.
Yeah.
It's certainly my passion.
Right.
And if anybody comes to me with any kind of questions, I'm even free to give DIY advice. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell them where I fish. I'm not a secretive guy.
Right.
You know what? I want people to go out there and have a good time where I do it.
Yeah, so we got hooked up with you. We were in Indiana, actually, of all places.
Right.
And one of our guides there, Wade, who also is kind of a part-time, loves taking people out, knows the river like the back of his hand, salt of the earth.
Right.
And he was like, we're talking about this trip, and it's coming up, and we're gonna DIY it, but it would be great if we had some sort of resource. And he's like, I got just the guy. Mm-hmm. And that's when we got connected through you.
Yeah.
And then we came down here and, okay, let's get into that day of fishing. So we meet Rhett the night before at a grocery store.
Yeah.
And we make a plan.
Yeah.
I'll call it a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get some beers, meet at a gas station at 6 a.m, and take the road into the Sian Can.
Right.
Am I pronouncing that right?
Sian Can.
Sian Can.
Which means where the sky meets the earth in Mayan.
Amazing. So what is the Sian Can?
It is one of the biggest biospheres in North America. It's about 800 square. I'm not sure if it's hectares or kilometers, but it's huge.
Right.
Savannas, jungles, mangroves, cenotes, lots of wildlife, a huge biodiversity. And not only are there lagoons down there, which I think you fished the other day.
Yep.
But where we fished in particular was Boca Paila, which is a cut that empties and fills the lagoons with salt water. Most of those lagoons, there's no rivers in the Yucatan. Those lagoons are filled up by fresh cenote water that end up draining out in that area. And it makes for some pretty exciting conditions.
Yeah, so basically it's almost like the mouth of a river.
Yes.
Yeah, dumping into the ocean.
Correct.
So then you've got the brackish water, the fresh water, and then the surf.
Yeah,
salt.
the seawater.
Right.
Yeah.
So we show up and we immediately see two 12-foot crocodiles.
Yes. Well, don't wear your chicken skin thong out there, by the way. The crocodiles are part of the deal in the sense that they kind of hang around the bridge.
Right.
There's more than two back there, by the way. There's just two big boys that can, intimidate a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's a video on YouTube that I'm sure people have seen, but they tend to stay near the bridge. I've only seen them out and about, lurking around. Pay attention, like anywhere.
Yeah. For me, I was like, we were on a bridge looking at two wild crocodiles. That's something that's never happened to me before. The fishing's cool. Obviously, it was great.
Yeah.
It was also cool just being in.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I also read in. Oh yeah, you wrote a book.
I did write a book, Fly Fishing the Yucatan.
Fly Fishing the Yucatan.
And I have to mention, I did write that with Rod Hamilton, who's a BC guy.
Awesome.
And very well known. Did a lot of stuff in the Bahamas. He also wrote the DIY Bone Fishing Bible.
He has DIYfishing.com, right?
Well, not anymore.
Okay,
That's kind of changed.
Okay.
But then the other co-author was Nick Denbo, who's a great guy, and he does things more south in Mahahual and Ishkalak.
Okay, cool.
So, but
I found that, but I was in Montreal the weekend before we came down here with my girlfriend, and I was in the fly fishing shop there, and there it was, Fly Fishing the Yucatan.
Awesome.
I'd already got it on my gimbal.
Right.
Not gimbal, Kindle.
Kindle.
Gimbal is what you use on a camera.
Got it.
Yeah.
So it's international. Lions Press picked that up, which is Lions Press is one of the biggest outdoor publishers in the world. So it went worldwide.
When did you guys write that?
We wrote that about 3 years ago.
Okay, great.
2 years ago, 3 years
It's
ago.
an awesome resource.
It is a resource. It just can give anybody a good idea of where to go.
Yeah.
It's not about how to fish every area. It's more of a resource of how to get there and be prepared when you get there.
Yeah.
It's got guides, places to stay, restaurants. It's got a spousal rating in it, a little history of the area, tips and things like that. So
That's cool, even just reading about the Sian Khan in there too, and I was like, oh, there's gonna be crocodiles, and they were saying the flamingo population rebounded because of the Sian Khan, or
well, there's not so many flamingos down in that part.
Right.
They like the northern coast a little bit better. And again, I'm a resource for the whole area. I basically wrote a lot of the resource information from Campeche, which is kind of on the upper northwest part of the peninsula,
right,
in the cusp, all the way down to Punta Allen.
Cool.
So and I'm an open book. If anybody wants to get a boat guide, or they just want to come down here and do it themselves, I'm happy to give them some advice. I'm happy to set them up. I'm happy to go out and do a little fishing with them too.
Yeah, that's what you did for us. And
well, again, it's not my main gig, but I've been here for 30 some years, been coming here and lived here for 15 years permanently. This is my home. I love it, and I love to share it. And that's one of the great things for me. Fly fishing is about sharing it.
Yeah.
I've met incredible people like yourselves who
thanks.
Have a good time and they enjoy the adventure, and that's huge for me.
Yeah, I think it was huge for us, just being able to walk that. It's pretty cool. We don't have a boat down here, but you don't need one to be extraordinarily successful. So the first day, we get into the river mouth. It's calmer than you would say. There was basically no wind, which is not what I'm expecting.
Right.
Fly fishing in the ocean.
Right.
Right. It was pretty calm, and you're like, I don't really know. So we're walking the beach looking for snook, right?
Well, yeah, and you guys stepped out immediately because we saw that activity close to the beach there.
Yeah.
And started casting. I think Yilma hooked up, or you hooked up within a few minutes, and I think in the first half an hour or 15 minutes of fly fishing, you had both hooked your first bonefish.
Landed our first bonefish.
So there you go. Yeah.
It was amazing. And then, our big we had been emailing back and forth. What we wanted to do was, we were like, I think we can target jacks, snook, and bonefish consistently. And we're like, great.
Yeah.
So the program is you're walking up and down the beach. I was astounded how close the snook come into shore.
Yeah.
And huge
snook. They're hunting the turbid water next to the beach.
Oh, okay.
And they're going other places. So again, for a DIY person, you can go out there and walk the beach and see things. Not only the big snook, but the big bonefish on the ocean side are a target too.
Yeah.
And they tend to be much bigger than the bonefish in the flats because they're eating different things, including bigger minnows.
Right, which was also something that was new to me. Like, I targeted bonefish before, always with shrimp patterns, and and here we are casting a bonefish with clousers. Big clousers, too.
Big clousers.
But they're big bonefish.
They're big bonefish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was super cool. So that was like day one.
Yeah.
Then we went out onto the little, sandbar, I guess?
Yeah, we went out to the sandbar
Looking
in front
for
of the
some
mouth.
jacks.
Yeah. And that changes, it's not, it's going to change over time, multiple times during the year. It can be a little intimidating for people to go out there. There is like a river up in the States. You have to read things a little bit.
Right.
It's not always cut and dry, but one of my pieces of advice is be prepared, in the sense a lot of guys come down here and they have, kind of a trout pack that's, just a nylon trout pack. Well, you're going to get wet out there.
Really wet.
Really wet. So, and the last thing a fly fisher want is a wet box of flies.
Yep.
Because in saltwater, you got to pull them all out. You got to clean them, you got to dry them. So it's really important that you come with, all these new bags have, waterproof zippers and backpacks. Yeah. It's pretty important to have that kind of equipment, good flats, shoes, good pliers.
Beach chairs?
Beach chairs, yeah,
I mean, you brought, that was a luxury for us.
Yeah, beach chairs is helpful. You got to base camp it,
Some beers?
Yeah. Yeah, take a break, have some beers. That's good.
Even that umbrella was clutch.
Yeah, the umbrella's good.
Yeah.
You don't.
And it's fun. It makes it
super
fun.
And you can even buy some of that stuff down here.
True.
If you take $100, you can buy a couple chairs and bringing a soft cooler. It's harder to find the soft coolers down here. But even one of those kind of bulk store Sam's Club type Costco soft coolers will work. You can roll them up and pack them out.
Yeah.
If you're bringing a bunch of equipment and just maybe check on, depending on your flight situation, one of those other brands of soft coolers, those will work.
Yeah,
but
your Yeti was awesome.
Yeah, the Yeti soft coolers I have are perfect.
They're rad.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about fishing down here?
Wearing a thong.
You've mentioned the thong.
I know that's. I know you haven't gotten into it yet, but you will. You gotta
bring one for me.
Well, there's sponsorship too. Victor's Secret. Well, he's out there. He's waiting for somebody new.
Victoria does have a husband somewhere.
Yes. So keep that in mind.
Salt of the earth kind of guy.
Salt of the earth.
So that was we recorded at one of his house, one of the homes that he manages, which is cool. Awesome. So it was also on this day that we planned our last day with Red.
Okay, the day
because he wasn't with us every day. He fished with us for 2 of the days.
Yeah.
And so our last day with Red was pretty much just like the first day with Red. We showed up pretty early.
Yeah. Pretty early. It was exactly like that. And we were targeting snook and jack that day, but jack mostly. And we went right on the surf.
Yeah, we went right to that sandbar.
And what was he saying? Sorry.
What
was he saying? Apparently, when it's high tide, it's the best time to fish for the jacks on that surf.
It's really any time that those
there's waves.
There's those waves that they can they can surf.
Yeah.
The day before this, we'd had a pretty tough day fishing, and then we saw all these jack swim in. You remember that? And that's when I hooked one on a popper.
Yeah.
That was crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Because you're just walking the sandbar, patrolling it, like you're I don't know, a jail guard.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you just see these shapes, and then the shapes turn into fish, and then they start riding. I was like, oh my god, they're right there. And then and Adis is giant.
Yeah.
So to have that guy following me and spotting fish was great because he's like 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not, but it's
He
6
can
foot.
see-
He's 6'5".
He's 6'5".
spotting everything.
He's 6'5".
Yeah. He's
And
totally-
he's just spotting fish, and it was great
Yeah.
because I'm 5'6".
Yeah. That's perfect.
He is the salt of the earth. He's
Yeah, he's super cool
my
guy.
favorite dude, man.
We had a
Yeah.
whole salt shaker full of salt of the earth people on
Yeah.
this trip.
Yeah.
for
Oh
sure.
yeah, I love all you guys, but you're
He's
my
a cool
boy.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys really got along.
Oh yeah.
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 I mean, yeah, he's a nice guy. I mean, I'd love to do a trip with him.
So he spots these 3 fish cruising in, and I see them. I get a cast right in front. Like it all went very well.
Yeah.
And then he just smashes popper. So I set the hook. I felt a fish,
Yeah.
and then he was gone.
Fishing poppers in the ocean.
And then he was gone.
Right.
Good times. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, damn it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah.
We caught some smaller jack that day, and then the last day with Rhett,
Mhm.
we went straight for that sandbar. Like we wanted to catch one of these big
Yeah.
jacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're patrolling the sandbar.
Mm-hmm.
We're all casting. Rhett's fishing. We're like, fish, Rhett. You know, we'd love to see one of these things. So if
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
more rods in the water kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he smokes a fish.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Wonderful big, huge, big bottlenose kind of jack thing.
Oh,
It was a
cool.
monster, man.
Jesus.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It just took off.
Yeah.
He hooked it, and I just was watching him, and he was just like, he had the rod in his, like he's got that little fish pond waist pack
Yeah.
that I have, and he just set his rod butt,
Yeah.
his fighting butt onto that, and his reel was just like,
Oh man.
Yeah.
and he was just looking at it.
He's
And then
looking
eventually it just stopped swimming and he started reeling it in. But it was like, it was like a 15, 20-minute fight. This
Yeah.
thing is-
Wow.
To give perspective, this was about 40 meter kind of flat surf.
Yeah.
I was at the other end. Aldo and Rhett were at the opposite end that I was, and when he hooked into it, I walked all the way from the other end to him, and he was still fighting the jack.
Wow.
Yeah.
And dude, like like fishing on the sandbar is intense.
Yeah.
You've got waves coming at you. Like
Mhm.
you're in like I had waves coming up to my neck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you're like
it's-
you're
yeah.
like pumping casts over. Well, I am anyway because I'm so short.
Yeah.
But like I'm pumping casts and there's like waves knocking me over.
Waves, yeah.
But there's tons of fish. Like you see the jacks. Like
Yeah.
and they're big.
Yeah.
Like these are big fish.
Whoa, that's
yeah.
so cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's early too, and I did not get freaked out about any bull sharks.
Yeah.
Apparently, they have them.
Yeah.
One or two.
He said
a
he
year.
saw one once in his entire life.
Oh,
But
okay.
hey, but what I'm trying to say is, I was brave.
Nice, man.
Thanks, man.
That's good. I mean, I don't know if there's anything to be scared of.
Yeah, there's literally nothing to be scared of. But
That's great.
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty. I mean, a giant jack fish.
It's just an intense,
Yeah,
like
it's
fish.
intense.
It was an intense fishing.
No.
It's kind of fun.
Oh, dude, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like in the pictures we'll post, you'll start seeing some of those pictures where we're like casting and waves are basically over our heads.
Yeah.
It was fun, man.
It was
I got to
fun.
tell you, it was
Yeah.
really fun.
Sounds fun. man.
You didn't. I don't know. It's just like the weather. Like, yeah, you could just be underneath the water and feel good. Like
Yeah,
you're getting
it's
wet.
like
You're
combining
refreshed.
swimming with
Drink-
fly fishing.
Yeah.
You're drinking beer. You can pee whenever you want.
pee whenever you want. It's just fantastic,
Gross.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
A lot of plastic garbage.
Oh, yeah.
We gotta mention that.
Yeah.
Like,
on the beaches.
yeah, it's really like I know it's a sore spot for you, Mitchie, and
Yeah.
I mean a lot of people, but
Yeah. But it was a total problem down there.
mhm.
Yeah, the
Jeez.
entire shoreline behind the sand was littered with plastics.
yeah,
Awful.
Yeah.
not like I hope we're not mentioning this. I hope it doesn't come off like we're like, oh, Mexico's dirty. That's not the point. The point is there's so much
Yeah.
trash in the ocean.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's every beach, right?
It's every beach. It's
Mhm.
all of our problems.
Everybody
it's just
says
like
that.
that was like you see videos and stuff. I've seen videos or content or like
Yeah.
photos, but then seeing it
in real
in
real
life,
Mhm.
it's bad
Firsthand.
enough when we go to the Don or the Humber or whatever for a
Covered
river
in
cleanup
garbage.
and we come out with like 400 bags of garbage.
Yeah.
That was a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like-
No, it's crazy, man.
There's river garbage, which is terrible, and then there's like that, and you're like, whoa,
Something's got to happen.
hmm
because it's like
Whack.
flip flops and
Yeah.
plastic bottles and
Yeah.
Just everything.
everything, and then there's all the microplastics.
Yeah, that's the
That's the
stuff that's
stuff.
really wacky.
Mhm.
Stuff you can't see.
Yeah.
Or it's so small that it's just like impossible to clean up.
So that was like
That part
well,
sucks.
That part did suck, and it was like,
I mean, it's a reality, I guess, of fishing on beaches, right? No matter where you go, everybody sees garbage on these beaches nowadays because the ocean is just so
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks. Well, yeah.
Wonder if there's like a plan.
Yeah.
We got to get a plan going.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
This is not the podcast to tackle it right now, but it's just like that. At that moment, I was like, it's like
Something's gonna happen.
like I've got to do something in
Something's
my
gotta
life to
give.
like figure something out.
Yeah. I know it's impossible to stand by and see it.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Well, that's too bad about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What day was that you were fishing on the sandbar?
Every day.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Every day, like that's the thing about the fishing Boca Pila was like you could do so many different things. You can stalk the beach for snook, and they're there. You can wait for.
Sorry.
You can wait for the jack to roll in.
Yeah.
At the different tides. You can hunt for bonefish. Because that school, I mean, we did happen upon a pretty like fortunate situation having that school come in. But every once in a while, a big school does come in. But there's also these like loner cruising bonefish. And the day before we got there, like one of Rhett's clients caught like an 8-pound bonefish.
Oh, jeez.
Like a big boy.
That's rad.
Yeah. So like there's just a lot to do. And if you had a stand-up paddleboard, like, or if you had more time, like we fish basically the same area every day because obviously we didn't have a boat or stand-up paddleboards or whatever. But if you brought down an SUP, man, like we were Yilma spotting tarpon off like far way further than we could possibly cast. But like you could see them porpoising and stuff, and like so there's like. And there's so much to explore in the CN Can.
And that was this time of year, but there's permit, and there's the tarpon that comes in like what Aldo mentioned. So there's
tons of fish. And we were fishing one beach.
Yeah.
In the CN Can, dude. Like you go down to Punta Allen, like that area. That's another 40 minutes. The town of Punta Allen, which a lot of like Pescamaya and a lot of the lodges are down there. But if you explored, there's just so much to explore.
Yeah.
And then an hour and a bit more, you're down to Belize.
Yeah, just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I mean, we didn't, but you could definitely, you can book a guide for the day. You can book a boat for the day or 2 days or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Like I think Pescamaya has a service where they pick you up from Tulum as well.
Oh, right.
So like if you want the flats boat experience, like you can get it for just a day. You don't have to stay at the lodge necessarily.
Take it up for the
There's
day.
just a lot to do. Like there's a lot to do, but I can see once we finally started seeing those jack roll in, I could see how you can, like, I understand his obsession.
Yeah.
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 Because it's really quite insane. Like these things are like, it's like those giant.
They're beautiful, man. They're huge too.
They're beautiful. They're huge, and they jump. Rhett said once he had a fish jump out of the air to hit his popper as he was landing in the water.
That's sick.
Yeah,
they're just aggressive. They just want to. They want to play.
Oh yeah, one of my
acrobatics.
When I had that great cast of those 3 cruising in, it was like no doubter. Like they saw the fly, they were like, "I'm eating that," and it was like, and it made that sound. It wasn't like a bass eating popper. It was like it sounded like someone getting punched in the face.
Whoa.
That ladyfish I caught.
Dude,
the water was.
Oh yeah, and then there's the ladyfish.
Yeah.
What was the water?
Well, the water was so clear that I saw the mouth open up like a tarpon mouth and smash my fly.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's
sick. It was a wicked shot.
Just a big bucket coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a great trip. We caught so many fish and so many firsts too, right? Like this was kind of like, I mean, I've been to Florida before, but
this was your first bonefish, Yilma?
My first bonefish.
My first bonefish.
Your first bonefish too?
Yeah.
First jack.
First jack, pompano.
Not my first jack.
First ladyfish.
First ladyfish.
First ladyfish.
First snook, hook.
No, I've caught them in Florida before.
I never touched a snook, but first time seeing one. I told you when I went to Tobago, they were all fished out. I wasn't able to see any in the mangroves, so this was barracuda.
Oh, we saw some huge barracuda.
Huge,
yeah,
like 6 feet.
You remember the one that chased? Wow. Remember the one that chased my game changer?
Oh yeah,
I crapped my pants.
Oh shit,
dude! I'm telling you, like this was Yilma spots the barracuda. Yeah. I've got a game changer on. Mm-hmm. We've been seeing barracuda, but they're Retzes are really selective, which has not been my experience with barracuda in Florida anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, whatever. Mm-hmm. Yilma spots a fish. He's like, I think he's like 30 feet or whatever. He's like, okay, it's in front of him. I start stripping. This barracuda starts following the game changer, and I'm stripping towards me on the beach, right? So it's like it's getting shallower and shallower and shallower to the point where like this fish is in like maybe a foot of water.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And it's like
They're huge.
Wow.
like
They have crazy teeth.
I know.
Scary looking.
Had he actually hit it, I probably would have got broken off immediately because I
Right.
didn't have like any kind of
Yeah.
wire or whatever. And
Yeah.
I think we had 40 pound,
40 pound. Yeah.
Right.
shock leaders on. The odds are
Yeah.
stacked against me. But even just to hook it would have been awesome.
Yeah. Jesus.
But just come,
That's cool, man.
I was like, he's gonna eat it. And Yilma's was like, he's gonna eat it. And then at the
Giant
last
dick, yeah.
second, like honestly, last second, his nose was basically touching the
He's
fly.
like, nope.
He just turns away like a trout refusing a dry fly.
He's like, this is fake.
He's like, fake.
Splash and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. It was a great trip.
it was a great trip.
Hmm.
Super cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's it, really. I mean, afterwards
it.
we got the bikes, and last day we got the bikes and tacos, and head to the airport.
Yeah.
What's the one thing you take away from the trip? Shilma. Or Aldo. Whoever's ready.
That's a good question.
Yeah, just like what's the sentence
Relax.
takeaway?
Relax.
Like what's the
Maybe is that a word? It's a one word.
give me a
Like-
sentence, baby.
Yeah. Okay. The takeaway of this trip to me would be I don't know.
I've never gone to Tulum. What would you tell me? Hey, I might go fly fishing in Tulum. Should I go do it?
Yeah, you should go do it for sure. But remember that each day is different.
Yeah.
So expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
And learn to read water. Learn to read the tides.
Bring a guide.
Bring a guide.
Definitely
Yeah.
do not bring a guide.
At least one.
At least one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Bring a guide. Do your research. Yeah. Listen to your guide. I think you know what. That's it. Listen to your fucking guide.
Yeah.
Listen to your fucking guide.
Whoa, Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
Although, what's your favorite thing? What was your favorite thing about the trip down there?
Wait. Before you go, you're asking me for a statement to explain. But I have my favorite. I can. There's a favorite though. That's a different question.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm asking him a different question.
Oh, sorry.
What was your favorite? What was your favorite thing about? Can I ask him a different question? What was your favorite thing about the trip, or about Tulum, or just the place you fished?
What was my favorite thing about Tulum?
Yeah.
Probably watching Yilma catch bonefish.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
I really did. Like, I remember the moment in my life where I realized that I obviously love catching fish.
Yeah.
But when that moment when I realized I liked other people catching fish more is when I knew I'd maybe one day, become a guide or an instructor or something.
Yeah.
So there was one moment where me, Yilma, and Joel all had a bonefish on at the same time.
That's cool.
And I was like,
Triple header.
that moment I was like, this is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like honestly, Joel's like, oh, I got a fish. Yilma's like, oh shit, I got a fish. And then all of a sudden, my line's like, boom. And I was like, what?
Yeah, that's
And we're
sick.
all fighting bonefish.
That's so cool.
On the same beach. And I guess, what's the takeaway, or what's my favorite? My favorite thing is, I don't know, man. I guess be open, because you just never know. From a chance encounter at an airport with somebody I don't know, to going to Indiana, it's too coincidental to be coincidence. From the Miami thing, meeting Mari, to going to Indiana and them knowing a
I know,
guide
they seem
and
really
you know what I mean?
made up.
And then all of a sudden, all these
Meant to
things
be.
coming together. I used to buy beer off of Andy because of his brewery, but
Yeah.
now he's shooting photos for us.
Mhm.
And, do you know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
like that moment there. I was just like, where me, Joel, and Yilma are hooked up. Adis has got the camera going. Andy's got the camera going. Rhett's cheering us on from the beach. I'm just like, what an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know, it's funny how
what
it
an
all worked out.
interesting serendipity. Is it serendipity?
Yeah. No, that is serendipity. Yeah, it's meant to be. It's
It's like it
purpose.
can't just be coincidence.
It's not. It's purpose.
It's not. It's purpose. I guess so. It's just I don't know.
Yeah.
You never know what can happen.
I've
Yeah.
definitely grown from these fishing experiences. I've actually, my knowledge, my intellect, everything about my personal growth has been because of this fucking thing that we do.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I want to say what my favorite thing is.
Yeah, sure.
That first,
We couldn't tell, man.
that first, you guys could.
What's your favorite thing?
Well, there's something that happens at times when you're fishing, when you catch your first fish on the day, when you bring it in and you look at it and you're just like, the stars are aligning, and it's almost like someone's saying to you, your life is good, or like saying, everything's perfect. You're supposed to be doing this. Yes, good job. Here's my gift to you. That's how I felt. I know it sounds super cheesy, but I felt as soon as I held that my bonefish in my hand, I was basically felt like, okay, your trip has started.
Nice.
And it was the most amazing experience. I'm not even joking. It was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it looks amazing. Sounded amazing.
It was amazing.
Rock and roll, baby.
It was great for a DIY trip.
Yeah.
Huge success.
Awesome.
I think.
Yeah.
It's too bad we didn't land a snook, but we got the jack, we got the bonefish, and then we got a bunch of other things, so it's the way she goes. Stuff. It's not like we didn't see them.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're there.
Mm-hmm.
Had some good tacos, had some good beers, had some good times.
Yep.
Yeah.
The good times was probably second favorite.
The good times were plenty. There were many laughs.
Yeah.
I know you weren't there, dude. I always have a good time with you too. I love you, Mitch.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
You would have just added to the enjoyment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well,
and I didn't get Raz as much, which was great.
That's good.
I'm just kidding. I got Raz the same way.
Well, on to Texas.
On to Texas. Yeah. Hey, Mitch, we actually did Mitchie's Fishies 5 with Rhett.
Oh, no way.
So we can end the episode like we always do.
Oh, that's perfect.
Except for it's Aldo surrogate.
Okay, that's
Mitchie's
cool.
5.
Okay, perfect. I love that. I'm so excited to hear what they're all about. Let's play those right now. Enjoy Mitchie's Fishies 5 with Rhett and Tulum featuring Aldo.
Okay, Rhett, we do this thing on our podcast. It's called Mitch, you didn't get to meet Mitch, which I'm upset.
Okay.
Gilman and I were on the trip. Mitch is the guy who started the podcast with the
Hello, Mitch. I'm sorry I didn't get to meet you.
He's sorry too. Trust me, you guys would definitely get along. But we end our podcasts with this segment every time. It's the same 5 questions we ask any guest.
Okay.
And we also ask them to ourselves. And I got them right here. And they're called Mitchie's Fishies 5.
Okay.
Because they're 5 questions.
Okay.
Mitch wrote them.
Okay.
And they're about fish.
Okay, cool.
Mitchie's Fishies 5.
Okay.
First one's pretty simple. What's your favorite fish and why?
Probably my favorite fish is fishing for the Jack Crevalle down here.
Okay.
I like to fish for them out on that bank, being down in the water. This is a great place to go and wade for them. And without spending $10,000 to go to the Seychelles.
Yeah.
And be in the water with these jacks surfing in and catching them.
I gotta say, we didn't hook up any yet, but we saw them. What they do is they kind of, there's a sandbar that gets quite shallow.
Yeah.
The ocean's quite deep, comes up to about I was knee deep and I'm short.
Right.
As hell.
Right.
And you see them riding these waves coming in.
It's incredible.
And it's incredible. They're like surfers, but these jack are 20 to 40 pounds.
Yeah. It's amazing. So that's probably my favorite.
That's the favorite?
It's intense.
All right. It looks intense. And you catch them on poppers too, right?
Yeah, poppers too.
Damn. We got 2 days of fishing left.
All right.
Okay, this is the second one of the Mitchie's Fishies 5. If you could fish anywhere in the world, provided the conditions are great, you mentioned you were, spent time in Colorado and whatnot.
Right.
Where would it be?
Well, I guess you're talking about a bucket list situation,
Maybe not even mine is back home on a lazy Sunday afternoon in August bass fishing. That's my, kind of thing.
Does it have to be something I've already done?
It can be something you want to do, someplace you have been, someplace you've dreamed about.
I think going up into Bolivia, Colombia, and fishing for those golden dorado in the rivers would be at the top of my list there. That seems pretty cool. A river fishing situation with this big golden trout with teeth on it, they're not a trout.
In the jungles of Bolivia?
In the jungles of Bolivia. Yeah. That sounds pretty good. I
feel like you do all right there.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Big stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Mitchie's Fishies number 3. What's your best fishing memory? What was your best fishing memory? It doesn't have to be what's the biggest fish you have. It's just what's your best fishing memory?
I've got a recent one.
Okay.
My daughter and I went to Colorado this past summer, and I took her with a friend, Tyler, who lives in Alma, Colorado, and he invited us for a day of fishing. And my daughter, who's 14, hasn't had a lot of experience. She's had a few experiences in the UK. We fished up there, and I took her to the Middle Fork of the Platte River, and we went out and fished kind of a little bit of a pond with a river, the Middle Fork coming into it. And we got some waders and we caught a few fish, and we went to take a break because our feet were a little cold. And she said, after she warmed up, give me that chair. We had one of those foldable camp chairs. And I said, why do you need this? And she said, just give it to me. She grabbed it. She went out, put it in the kind of gravelly bottom of the lake where the river mouth came into, sat in the chair and proceeded to catch a nice little, I think it was a rainbow. It got off, but she sat down, did the cast, concentrated, and hooked it, and it was just beautiful.
That's amazing.
So that's one of my best fishing memories with her. I've got one more. Remember I was talking about that little trip that I did up to the northern Yucatan with, we were paddle boarding. On my birthday night, it was full moon, and we had a little bit of a jing on. I don't know if you say that up in Canada. We were a little buzzed.
There you go. We definitely say buzzed.
Yeah, we were a little buzzed.
Jing.
A jing on? Yeah, jing, boo. So it was pretty late at night. The full moon was up, and we went out on a flat and caught ladyfish every cast and giggled like little girls. We thought we were the king of the universe. And
like us the other day.
Yeah, it was just like one after the other, and we were a little buzzed, like I said, and we just laughed and cackled, and it was magical.
Those are some nice moments.
So, yeah.
That happened for us the other day with you.
Yeah, I know. You were all giggling and having a good time.
Like, I think, we had a pretty healthy school of bonefish in front of us.
Yeah.
And little Jack and a couple ladyfish.
Yeah, little pompanos.
And pompanos too, just laughing.
Yeah.
Joel, or one of our buddies down here shooting photos.
Yeah.
He got into bonefish. It was amazing.
Cool. Yes.
Yeah, those moments are nice.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Okay. This one's a little bit more existential.
Okay.
Why do you fly fish? Why fly fish at all?
Why fly fish at all? For me, I have rounded it out. Not only is the sporting element, the hunting element of it, especially down here.
Right.
You're hunting the fish. It allows me. I think a lot of fly fishermen, if they fly fish for a while, get to a point where it's all second nature to them. And that's why I think a lot of us fly fish is because we get to a point where all the mechanics of it are there, and we can just go out and enjoy where we are. I think that's huge. Again, I go out there and my mind just is where I am, hunting for fish. I'm nowhere else.
Right.
I'm there in the moment. And that's pretty important. Oh, and the thong thing. Wearing a thong while I'm fly fishing is pretty important, as you can imagine.
Very important. I will say being comfortable. Like, there's something about, because we got to strap on so much clothing when we fish.
If you go with the thong thing, you go minimalist.
I know. So I'm saying you can down there.
You can still clip on some shit on your thong,
That's be a pretty heavy-duty thong.
Oh, well.
Neoprene. Sims.
Hey, they got to come up with something. Plug.
So number 4 of the Mitchie's Fishies 5.
You got a mosquito on your cheek.
Oh. What's cheek? Ow! Perfect. Mitchie's Fishies 4. A little bit more existential. Why do you fly fish? Why fly fish at all?
Fly fishing allows me to forget about everything else. In the sense that, I think most fly fishermen will agree, you get to a certain point where the mechanics of fly fishing are second nature.
Right, yeah.
You got the stripping, you know where your hands are, you can cast, you don't have to look at your cast, and you can just concentrate on where you are and the fish, and that does a lot for me. I've got a busy life managing my other business, and it's nice to not think about that. And and it just automatically happens when I go out there. Boom, it's gone, and I'm there in this beautiful spot. The beauty of the places that you can fly fish is huge.
Yes.
Too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's very few places in the world. Although some like the Chattahoochee, I think we were talking to that guy the other day.
Yeah,
who fishes the Chattahoochee River in downtown Atlanta.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that would be a little surreal, but still, it's about getting out there in those cool places and forgetting about everything else.
Right. Yeah, and just being in that present moment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a lot. That's what the present moment thing is.
Sure.
For me,
Huge.
Yeah. It's huge. Just kind of forget about the rest of your life and just focus.
Right.
Okay, the last of the Mitchies Fishies 5, my favorite personally, is if you were a fly pattern, what would you be? Like, what is the Rhett Schober?
What is the Rhett
Okay, maybe not. So, I mean,
Schober?
like, what represents you the best? What fly pattern represents you the best?
Oh, wow, that's a tough one.
I've got my idea of what you'd be, but
Yeah. It would be something funny.
Yeah. A little wacky.
A little wacky. I have a couple commercial flies that are out there.
Okay.
I don't know if I can mention a name.
You can mention whatever you want.
Well, Mike Ryan, who's the owner of Discount Flies, he carries my Retos tarpon tanga. Tanga is thong in
I had
Spanish.
kind of a feeling this is where this was going. Yeah.
That is kind of representative of me in the naming sense. Eric Beebe carries that on Catch as well.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, that's kind of the humoristic side of a fly pattern, and me, I like to think myself as being a pretty easygoing guy. It's an easy pattern to tie. It's only 3 materials.
There you go.
So
You're only 3
Retos
materials?
tarpon tanga. There you go.
Okay, great answer. I don't think we've ever had an answer being somebody whose fly is actually in the lexicon of flies.
It is. It's
So that's
out
a first
there.
for us.
It's out there.
Well, Rhett, man, I wanted to thank you so much for having us down here, showing us around, crushing some beers with us.
Hey, thanks. And this is one of my villas here. This is Villa de los Sueños.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, how can people, first of all, how can people find your villas? How can people find you to for fishing?
Well, for finding me, for fishing, you can on Facebook. It's Akumal Fly Fishing. You can go to mexicoflyfishing.com, akumalflyfishing.com, tulumflyfishing.com. I have a lot of the domain names for this area. Usually, it's the place name with fly fishing. But mexicoflyfishing.com has everything.
Great.
And the villas and rentals would be akumalvillas.com or akumal-villas.com.
Nice.
And I've got a great staff that will do. They'll even help you out with more fishing if I can't do it.
Oh, yeah?
We'll hook you up with somebody else.
Nice.
I've got preferred guides and services. We can do car rentals. We can do tours. The whole thing.
Right on. Well, I got to tell you, I'm sitting on this patio being like, I might have to come back here.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, this is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Instagram, anything you want to plug? Like where
I'm
where people can find you, see your pictures?
Rhett.Schober on Instagram. That's
Nice.
where I do a lot of my photos. Again, Facebook, Akumal Fly Fishing. I tend to put a lot of photos there.
Right on. Oh, and those flies you can find.
You can find the flies on discountflies.com
Yep.
or Eric Beebe, which is, I think, catch.com.
Perfect. And lastly, because I know it's a lot, Fly Fishing the Yucatan. Where can you get it?
You can get that on Amazon. Yeah, on Kindle, it's electronic or hard copy, which is really light. You can even, it's nice to have the hard copy. You have the hard copy.
Yeah, it's great.
And I signed it.
I know.
May the thong be with you.
Classic. Classic. Again, thanks, Rhett, man.
You're very welcome.
We had so much fun, and I think we're going out with you 2 days from now.
Yeah.
That'll be the last day of fishing. So we started the trip, and we're going to end the trip with you. So
Sounds great.
Fitting.
I can't wait.
Thanks, brother.
You bet, man.
Okay, cool. Well, that was a successful trip down to Tulum, guys. Fuck. Shit, I missed it. Damn.
Yeah. I don't know, it's too bad.
Next one. We'll do the next one.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's probably it for me. You can find all of our stuff at the SoFly.ca, which is our website. You can find all of our photos, our videos, our podcasts. You can find us at the SoFly Crew on Instagram. We're on Spotify. We're on iTunes. Rate us. subscribe.
Yeah, give us a rating on iTunes. People have. It's actually awesome.
Yeah, it helps us out.
A ton, yeah.
Helps us out.
It does help us out. So thank you for doing that.
Yes, thank you, everybody. I just want to give a shout out to Mari and her team down at Casa Flamingo. That Airbnb was beautiful. You can find them at Casa Flamingo. We'll put a link in the show notes so you can, if you guys want to book, we'll put the Airbnb link there. Highly, highly recommend. Good for families too. I would definitely check out Rhett's Instagram. I think it's just at Rhett Schrober. We'll put that in the
show notes as well. Yeah,
in the show notes as well. Mexican fly fishing.
MexicoFlyFishing.com.
Perfect. And then also he's got places to stay. So not only would he take you out, but you probably sleep in one of his houses.
There you go. And check out SoFly.ca for videos and pictures from this trip.
Mm-hmm. Was there anybody else we need to shout out?
40 Creek Whiskey. Thank you so much for the delicious whiskey.
Yeah.
Drift Outfitters.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Thanks for hooking us up, Rob.
Yeah. Supplying us with those amazing pliers, flies, and gear.
Oh,
nice.
True. Yeah. Oh, and big Andy, Edison.
Yeah.
Joel.
Of course.
Yeah. Thanks,
They worked their butts off.
You guys worked your fucking butts off. You guys are pros.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Super pros. They sweat their balls off, hauling gear to the beach every day, getting bit by mosquitoes.
Awesome.
When I forgot the lunches, they were hungry.
Oh, man.
That may have happened one day.
It's the way she goes.
No one complained.
Actually, yeah, no, I was like really anxious about.
Yeah. Well, rock and roll. Well, that's it for me, Mitch.
Oh, and Interjet.
Yeah, thanks Interjet.
Thanks Interjet, and that amazing guy
who dropped off.
What a cool dude. Yeah. What a cool dude. That's it for me, Mitch. Aldo.
Bye.
Yoma.
See you guys.
Thanks everybody for listening, and take care.